A little change of scenery today.
I
Oh,
know.
live.
Oh,
Got it. Got it.
okay.
Perfect.
Bye.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for coming to our Saturday morning yoga flow. Thank you so much, Heather, for hosting this as always. Um, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started today in a child's pose position. So if you'd like to, just bring your toes together at the back of the mat. We're going to let our chest fall over the knees, extending our arms out in front of us. Taking a nice deep breath here into the body, into the lungs, filling them up. And a slow exhale out. Just starting to become more aware here of the body, of your breathing, of your tension, kind of how relaxed do you feel right now? Taking another nice deep inhale, think about reaching those fingertips a little bit further. And a slow exhale out. Just feel yourself ground. Releasing any tension. We're just giving it the space, to release. Maybe with more breaths, it'll just eventually wash away. Your only job here to focus on the breath, making these breaths deep and long, just signaling to the body here that this is a time to relax. This is a time to let your guard down and just not worry about looking or doing a certain thing today. Just breathing and being aware of the body. Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and inhale, start lifting the hips here. And we're going to just start rounding through the spine. So really drawing those shoulder blades away from each other. We'll round and then drop the hips down. Start to open the chest forward, gazing up. Inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to lead with the hips, kind of arching the spine, rounding all the way back into child's pose. So we're just going to add this movement here. Inhaling, lifting, rounding forward, opening through the chest. Now you feel the shoulder blades draw together as you open and extend long through the abdomen. Inhale, and on the exhale, lead with the hips. So it's just definitely going to go with the pacing of your own breath. As you exhale, sitting those hips back, letting the shoulder blades pull away, letting your spine round, maybe the chin tucks towards the chest more. On the inhale, just leading, well, kind of on the in-between maybe, because when you get to your deepest part of the inhale, you're really going to want to be opening through the chest, drawing the shoulder blades back, those hips coming all the way through down into our cobra pose. You might gently engage the glutes here just to protect the lower back and the spine. But maybe when you're in your cobra, just really tuning into the spine, actually, as you take all the spinal waves, you take this movement, just really tuning in with that spine, thinking about the base of it as you roll forward and bringing the awareness all the way up to the top of the head as you lower the hips and open the chest. Taking a deep inhale. Perfect. So just take a few more of these movements and eventually coming to meet me in a nice cobra. We're just gonna hold this for a moment here. Oh, perfect. Really press into the hands to press those ears away from the shoulders. Maybe you look to the left, keeping the shoulders still, bringing the gaze over to the right. Bringing the gaze back over to the left, maybe you dip the right hip. Just go a little bit further into this twist. And then we'll come back through center, dip into the other hip. Perfect. Coming back through center, we're just going to press up here into a quick tabletop just for some rich wrist stretches. You can put your fingertips back towards yourself. Really grab through the root of the palm. Lean the hips back a little bit. Getting nice into those wrists. And then maybe turning the palms over the back of the hands on the mat here. Perfect. We'll go ahead, release the hand down. We're gonna tuck the back toes here, lean the hips back, and lift the hips up into our downward facing dog. I'm gonna take my socks off because it could get pretty slippy. So just take a nice deep breath into the belly in your down dog. Feel free to pedal it out here, add some movement. We really want to try to reach those heels towards the ground. We're getting a really deep hamstring stretch here. You want to try to straighten through the legs, lift the hips high. But it's also okay for the knees to be slightly bent, as long as you're trying to pull that chest back towards the thighs here. Feel nice release through the spine, let the head go. Perfect. Taking a nice deep inhale here. We're going to start our spinal waves now in our down dog. We're going to inhale, rounding into our plank, and exhale, leading with the hips as we round or roll it back to our downward facing dog. We'll inhale, round it into plank. Just bring your shoulders over the wrists. And then we'll exhale, lead it back into down dog. So just adding this movement as we did below, just at your own pace. Really try to be aware of your spine. Really try to allow free movement here and fluidity. Try to release and warp up and just open up through the body here. Maybe one or two more. Just eventually coming to meet me in a plank position. We're just going to window shield wipe the heels to the right. Window shield wipe them to the left. Coming back through over to the right. And back through over to the left. Coming through center once again. We're just going to go ahead, allow our knees, chest, and chin to fall to the mat. We're in our 8-limb pose, just inhaling and exhaling, bringing your awareness to all those 8 limbs at once here. And then we'll inhale, pull the chest forward and up, gaze up. And then we'll exhale, tuck the back toes, lift the hips. We're going to push it back in our downward facing dog. Perfect. Taking a nice deep breath. We'll lift the heels, bend the knees. and step it, or maybe you already feel like hopping it to your hands, keeping those feet hip distance. We'll go ahead, bend the knees, and release the body into our wonderful dangling pose here. It is such a lovely stretch this is, especially when you just let the whole upper body go, even the neck, even the shoulders, the arms. Taking a nice deep breath and exhale. Feel your navel pull back towards the spine, releasing it a little bit further here. On the next inhale, we'll halfway lengthen, straighten through the knees, straighten through the spine. And on the exhale, we'll fold the body forward. Inhaling, we're gonna round through the knees, round through the spine, reaching arms all the way up into our standing. Wonderful. Reach it up high. And then we'll exhale, releasing hands to heart center, maybe by your side. Perfect. Just keeping those feet hip distance. Just come into tune with our Tadasana, our standing pose. Maybe you lift the toes. Just come to really stand tall here. Maybe open the hands, open the palms, open the chest a little bit. We'll inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, grabbing right hand with left hand. We'll exhale, lean it over to the right. Inhale, reaching it back up. Just switch the wrists and exhale, lean it over to the left. Try to keep those hips stable. And then we'll inhale, reach it back upwards. This time we breathe deep into the chest, do a slight gentle back bend. And then we'll exhale, fall forward, releasing it into a forward fold here. Wonderful. We'll inhale, halfway lengthen, straighten. And then we'll exhale, plant the hands, step it back into a plank position. Inhaling. On the exhale, feel free to lower to the ground any way that works for you. I'm going to take a chaturanga, keeping those elbows tucked into my sides. Inhaling, pull open, cobra, or upward facing dog if your thighs are lifted off the ground. And then we'll exhale, push the hips back, coming into our downward facing dog. Wonderful. We're going to inhale from here, lift the right leg up. Stretch that foot so nice and high. Perfect. Maybe here we stack the hips. Just kind of bend the right knee, open up, and then turning to square the hips down. We're going to inhale, pull this knee in towards our chest, coming high onto those left toes. We'll pull that knee and step the foot all the way through, dropping the back knee down here. We release the back toes. We sink those hips forward. We're going to inhale, reach it nice and high into a low lunge. Maybe your hands come to your hips. I don't know. If you just like a little bit of extra pressure there. Inhale, reaching the hands to the ground here. We're going to start to turn to the right to this bent knee. And then we're going to keep turning and keep turning and keep turning until we sit the hips all the way down. We're coming to cross this right foot over the left in a half shoelace pose. You can take your fingers interlaced under this knee, kind of just fold. Or maybe, yeah, just kind of fold here. Taking a nice deep breath again. Feeling a release through that extended leg. We'll inhale, sit it back up. We're gonna take this foot and plant it on the ground. This knee is up towards your chest. We'll inhale, reach the arms up, and on the exhale, the left hand elbow comes outside of the right elbow, and we do a twist, bringing our gaze over the right shoulder here. Sitting nice and tall, inhaling. Perfect. And then we'll exhale, release and come forward. We're gonna grab this right foot with our left hand, and we're just gonna stir this foot in a circle here. Just bring our awareness into that right hip as we circle around. And then we're gonna plant this foot back down over the right, over the left, and then we're going to start to turn back, and you can kind of just let this knee fall right beside you as you square the hips down to the ground and turn to face the short edge of the mat. So this right knee you kind of want in beside you, but still kind of opening the hips here. Just inhale, maybe you even tense your hands and come high into a little back bend. And then we're going to just bring this right foot so it's outside of the right now, it's outside of the right hip. We're gonna pick it up and put it inside of the right hip. So we're coming right into a pigeon pose, squaring those hips down. Again, we can inhale, kind of just open the chest, do a little back bend here. And maybe you try to bring the shin parallel to the top of the mat to make it a little bit more intense, totally up to you. Well, once again, just inhale, pull those shoulder blades back. Maybe you even interlace the hands behind the back. Just breathe deep into the belly, breathe deep into the chest here. And then we'll exhale, release the hands. You could just allow the chest to fold forward. We're gonna add some movement. Inhale, pushing the chest up. Exhale, releasing the chest forward. Inhale, pushing the chest up. Exhale, releasing the chest forward. Inhale, pushing the chest up. We're gonna roll the hips down here. We're opening out to the long side of the mat. We roll the knee and the toes to point upwards. Perfect. So I'm not turned towards you, but I will here. So you can see. We're just gonna inhale, reach the arms up, and the right arm is gonna come over to try to touch the left toes. Just try to keep those shoulders stacked here, keeping a deep breath into the lateral body, that right side. And then we'll inhale, come back up, plant the right hand behind us or right beside us. We're just going to lift the hips and come onto our right shin here, trying to keep that left foot planted, and then just kind of readjust yourself so this knee is stacked right under the hip. We're gonna come into a half moon, just kind of lifting that left foot up off the ground. Try to find your balance on our side here. And then we'll turn the hips down, face the long side of the mat again, keeping that left leg extended. We bend the knee. We'll inhale, pull the knee in towards the chest, and then exhale, push it back, open up. Inhale, pull the knee in towards the chest, do a little tuck of the chin towards the chest, and then push it up. Once more, pulling the in towards the chest. Exhale, we push it up. This time, you could just hold it here, no problem. Maybe you'd like to play with your balance a little bit and shift your weight into the left hand. Wait, our left foot is up. We're gonna shift our weight, yes, into our left hand and try to reach the right hand back to the left foot and kick maybe up into our tiger pose. Feeling a little unstable today, but that's okay. Inhaling deep. We'll exhale, release hand and foot down. And yeah, you can just release the right foot the left foot down. We're in our tabletop position. We'll tuck the back toes, and then we're gonna lift the hips, extend the knees back up into our downward facing dog. Perfect. Just take an inhale, reach those hips nice and high. Inhaling, we're gonna lift the left leg up this time into our three-legged dog. Really try to reach that leg nice and high. We'll bend the knee and stack the hips on top of each other. Perfect. Reaching that leg nice and high. We'll inhale, pull that knee in towards our chest. Perfect. Pulling it in and stepping the left foot all the way through, dropping the back knee on the ground. Inhale, lifting it high into our low crescent lunge here. Inhale. Perfect. Maybe you drop hands to hips. Exhale, just feel yourself really release into this low lunge. Keeping the hands planted, we're going to start turning to the left, turning to the left, and we're going to keep turning all the way. So we're coming to twist to sit our hips down into our half shoelace here. Just taking the hands underneath this right knee. You can bend the knee a little bit if you'd like. Just going to do a gentle fold here. Try to extend straight through the spine. It's okay if you can't fold very far. Inhaling it back up, we're going to plant the left foot on the ground. Inhale, reaching the right arms, the hands up. We'll exhale, take a twist, bringing right arm outside. We're just going to bring our gaze over that left shoulder. Inhale to the belly button. Exhale. We'll come forward once again. Come to take this right hand into our left foot into our right hand, and we'll circle the foot around. Just try to open up through that hip. Perfect. Yes. I kind of like extending the knee a little bit. We're going to return that foot down, and then we're going to once again turn back towards the right. We're going back towards the right. This left bent knee is going to come right outside of your left hand as you turn the hips down. And yes, we're inhaling here, just opening up through the hips. Kind of like almost like a split, but this left foot is like completely bent instead of being straight in front of you. We're going to then just take this left foot across to the right hip. So we're bringing that right foot inside and we're coming into our pigeon pose. Trying to really think about squaring those hips down and keeping the back leg centered and straight in the back of the mat. We inhale, just open up through the chest. If you'd like a little bit more sensation, feel free to parallel and line up the shin with the mat. We're just going to inhale. Maybe we interlace the hands, pull the fist back as we open up through the chest. Taking a nice deep inhale. Perfect. Exhale, releasing. We're going to plant the hands, tent them right in front of us, adding some movement. Exhale as we bring the chest down. Inhale as we pull open with the chest. Once again, just tuning in with the spine as we bring the chest down and bring it back up. Inhale once more, exhale it down. Inhale back up. We're going to turn the hips so that the right hip comes down. And we just roll the right knee and right toes up to the sky. We inhale, reach the right arms up. And we'll exhale, take the left hand over to the right toes. Wonderful, breathing nice and deep. Exhale, perfect. We're gonna inhale, come it back up. Just plant this left hand to your side and come up onto your right shin. Trying to stack the left knee under the left hip here. We'll inhale. You could just start with reaching that right arm over. And we're gonna keep our shoulders and hips stacked as we lift this right leg up into our half moon pose. And then we'll exhale, turn the hips down. Perfect. Coming right into our one-legged tabletop. We'll bend the knee. Inhale, pull that knee in towards the chest. Then exhale, open up, kind of reach the foot towards your head towards your foot. Inhale, pull the knee in towards the chest. Exhale, push it back. Inhale, pull it in towards your chest. And once more, we're gonna push it back. Maybe you stay here, maybe this time you try to lift the left hand to meet the right foot as you kick that foot back into our wild thing pose. Not our wild thing, our tiger pose. Just another chest opener though. We'll release hand and foot here. Releasing this both hand and foot down now. We're just gonna tuck the back toes and lift the hips, extending straight into our downward facing dog. Wonderful. Taking a nice deep breath here. Ah, we're going to inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, step or hop it forward to your hands. Exhale, releasing into a nice deep forward fold. And we'll inhale, round it all the way up to standing, reaching arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Perfect. We're gonna go ahead from here and inhale once again, reach it all the way up. And oh, yes. Instead of exhaling, fold forward, we're actually gonna bring our toes together, heels apart. We're gonna sit the hips down into our chair pose. So trying to bring your arms by your side nice and straight. We're trying to keep the chest open. The pelvis is tucked. We're gonna exhale, bring our hands to heart center. Take an inhale. On the exhale, we're gonna take our left elbow outside the right knee in a twisted chair. We're gonna go ahead, take this left foot and step it back behind us in a twisted high lunge. Engaging through those legs nice and strong. We'll inhale, lift it high into our high crescent lunge. Sink low with the hips engaged and straight with the back leg. Inhale. And then we'll exhale, straighten through this right knee. We're going to pivot the back toes to face the long side of the mat. And from here, we're going to bring our hands into a T. Perfect. I'm gonna just kind of readjust myself a little bit. We're coming into our triangle pose here. We'll inhale, pull the fingertips forward, keeping shoulders, hips stacked. We lean the body over. Inhale nice and long through that side body. Perfect. Trying not to put too much of your weight on this leg. You can use a block, whatever you need. We'll inhale, reach it up. Yes, we're going to turn to face, do a wide-legged forward fold. We just like kind of turn to touch our toes, take a wide-legged forward fold, facing the long side of the mat here. We'll inhale, reach the body back up, reaching the arms up. We turn the toes to face outward a little bit. Then we exhale, sit the hips down, bend through the knees. Inhale, the body comes back up. We pivot The front toes turning to face forward again, sinking that front knee 90 degrees, trying to stack the knee over the ankle, and we bring the arms into our warrior two. Just bringing your gaze over those front fingertips. Take an inhale. Maybe you sweep the back arm up and over into peaceful warrior. And then you exhale, come back into your warrior two. Inhaling and exhaling. This time we let the right forearm come down to the front knee as we reach the left fingertips overhead. In our side angle, if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, feel free to bring the right hand inside of the right leg. Getting a nice deep stretch here. And then we're going to inhale, bring it back up. Perfect. We're going to pivot our hips to be square towards the front of the mat again and move back. This back heel is just going to ground, and the toes are going to try to be pointing 45 degrees to the left corner. We sink this front knee down, and we're nice and deep in our warrior one, bringing those arms nice and straight, inhaling, breathing deep and open through the chest. On the exhale, we'll come to straighten through this leg, this front leg. Maybe you can bring the back foot in a little bit if it's too big of a distance. You can just take your body out like this, or maybe you bring your hands to grab opposite elbows behind the back. Or maybe you try to bring your hands into prayer behind the back. It's a little challenging. Just drawing those shoulders back towards each other, really opening through the chest. Inhaling, straightening through both legs. Exhaling, releasing yourself into a forward pyramid fold here. And then we'll release the hands. And we're going to just lean forward, pick the back toes up, trying to find our balance in a quick warrior three, squaring the hips down, extending straight and long through the body. And then we'll inhale, pick the body all the way up. Feel free to just drop the leg down or take a quick break, or you can try to bring the leg, the knee all the way through, grabbing hold of this knee in front of you. And maybe you stay here, or maybe you see about taking the right hand, grabbing the outside of the left foot, and extending this leg straight as you kind of do a gentle standing twist. These left fingertips may be open backwards. Yeah. And we exhale, release the left foot down. Perfect. Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and take this to the other side now. So just bringing your big toes together, heels apart. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, we'll sit the hips down into our chair pose, tucking the pelvis. Inhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Inhale. On the exhale, our right elbow is going to come outside of the left knee as we take a twisted chair. Getting low through those hips. Shift your weight onto the left foot as you step this right foot back into a twisted lunge. We'll inhale, center through the body. We'll inhale, center through the body. Reach the arm right, the hands up. We're in a high lunge. Engage through that back leg. Get low with the body. And then we're going to straighten this front leg and ground the back heel, turning the hips to face the long side of the mat. So the back toes are pointing along the side of the mat, the front toes are pointing towards the front side of the mat. We inhale, extend straight through our arms. We're going to draw the fingertips over the left leg, left knee, and just allow your body to fall into our Trikonasana triangle pose, gazing up towards those right fingertips. Trying to get a 2D shape going on. We're gonna exhale now, release the body forward. Just pivot those left toes to also face the long side of the mat, pigeon toeing the toes actually maybe a little bit towards each other, just to protect the knees as we sink the chest into a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, we come to extend through the body. We're going to lift up, turn the toes outward, reaching arms up. We'll exhale, sink the knees down, lower the hips into our goddess pose. Wonderful. Inhale, we'll reach it back up. We're gonna pivot our feet to come into our warrior two now. So the front toes are pointing forward again. We bend that front knee 90 degrees. Our arms come parallel to the ground, I guess, like a T. And we gaze over those front fingertips. Inhaling, maybe you draw the left fingertips overhead into a peaceful warrior. And exhale, the left forearm comes down to this left knee. And maybe you reach the right arm over into your side angle. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, of course, maybe dropping that left hand down if it's okay for you. Perfect. Taking a nice deep breath. And then we're going to inhale, reach it back up into our warrior two. We'll go ahead, pivots the hips to face the square forward and pivot our back toes to be 45 degrees, pointing towards the right corner. We bend 90 degrees to that left knee. Inhale, open the chest. Warrior one. Perfect. And then we're going to straighten through this front knee again. Maybe you step this back foot in just a little bit. It kind of helps, I think. And we're going to come into our pyramid. So whatever variation you'd like to try out this time with your hands, I'm going to try to bring my palms together in prayer behind my back. But you can do whatever. Inhaling, extending straight through the spine, squaring the hips. And then we'll exhale, fold it forward. Perfect. Those hands kind of remind you, and you can try to really press the palms together if you have them in prayer, but just to remind you of your presence of your back here, of your spine, and try to keep it long as you square the hips. Perfect. We're going to go ahead, release our hands here, leaning forward, leaning forward. We're going to just lift the back leg off the ground and come into a warrior three position, straightening through both legs. And then we're going to inhale, pick it up, bring this right knee in towards the chest. That's okay with you. You stay here. Maybe you could even do a little twist with the knee bent, or you can try to take the left hand outside the right foot, straighten this leg into a standing twisted balancing pose. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll release the foot down right into standing. Wonderful. From here, we're just going to go ahead. Inhale, bring it high onto our toes. Reach it up, reach it up. And we're going to come back. We're going to come down through into our cosmic egg. So just trying to bend the knees gently, slowly, with control as we sit the hips down and come to embrace our knees, wrapping our arms around our knees, rounding through the spine here. Perfect. And then we'll release our hands down, release our knees in front of us this time. And we're just gonna crawl our way here to turn to face the long side of the mat on our knees. We're gonna come into a frog pose. So bringing our big toes together to start, it's like coming into a wide-legged child's pose. We really want to separate our knees. You can maybe even just sit the hips back. And trying to keep the chest a little low, maybe, whatever happens, whatever. We're just gonna try to start to move the hips forward, forward, forward until they come in line with our knees. So the toes are kind of still together in the back, not maybe all the way together, but you know. And this is our tadpole, so it's not our full frog, but this may already be an amazing stretch. I welcome you to stay here and enjoy this stretch. Or if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can flex the feet and start to bring the ankles in line with the knee. You're gonna really wanna just like gravity naturally push your hips down. And sometimes it's kind of easy to avoid the stretch, but you really want to try to find it. Move your hips and heels around until you can really feel a nice sensation through the inner hips here. It's a wonderful stretch. Just take a nice deep breath or two here and enjoy it. Wonderful. We'll go ahead, release the chest down, release the knees. We're going to bring the knees together. And yeah, just come to sit up, facing once again the short, like the normal way in your mat. We're gonna come to round the spine all the way down to the ground, bringing the knees to hug into the chest, doing a little rock side to side. Just take a few moments here and rock side to side. Take a few breaths. I'm just gonna take the time super quick. Um, okay, perfect. Perfect. Um, yes, it feels so nice. If you'd like, you can open the knees wide. Just add movement, deep breaths. We're going to go ahead and just come into some spinal twists before ending off. So maybe straightening the right leg, hugging the left knee to the chest. We could just pull that left knee over our body to the right. Just think about really planting both shoulder blades, maybe even extending straight through the arms, maybe even bringing your gaze over the left. It's okay if that right knee doesn't come all the way down to the ground. You can play with straightening the knee, bending the knee, crossing the legs, whatever you want to do in this spinal twist. Breathing deep into the belly. And exhaling. Coming back through center here. We'll go ahead, switch knees, straightening through the left leg, hugging the right knee in. Inhale, and we'll exhale, cross this right knee over the body, taking our spinal twist with your own modifications to the other side. Wonderful. Just starting to wind down. We're gonna inhale, come back through center. And you can just extend the legs straight. Open up the palms and bring your arms by your side. We're gonna come into our final Shavasana pose. welcoming complete relaxation as you just kind of start from the top of the head with your forehead, your eyebrows, with your mouth and cheeks, just relaxing. Kind of just bringing your awareness down and around through the body as you relax. Making sure to always listen to the body, trying to give it what it's calling for, asking for. Feel free to stay much, much longer in your Shavasana as you should, letting your body enter a much deeper state of relaxation, probably than you have in a while. It's always good to kind of just do that every now and then. But you can come and join me too in just awakening the body. If you'd like to just wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, circle the ankles and wrists. Maybe stretching the body long, just making your way into a fetal position on your right side or left side. Just resting here in the fetal position for a moment before pushing back up into a seated and meeting me seated at your own time and pace. I'm just going to close the practice with one last breath here. Inhale, reaching and opening. And exhale, hands to heart center. Just bowing and giving yourself and everything lots of thanks and gratitude. It's such a pleasure and honor to guide you here this morning on the mat, and I really hope to see you again. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank